Well, the NFL and NBA are issuing a security alert to all teams to be aware of skilled criminals targeting the homes of professional athletes. This is huge. This comes after the recent burglaries at the homes of Kansas City Chiefs stars Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. We've been telling you about this. Reports say that Kelce's watch has now been recovered in Providence, Rhode Island. His home in Kansas was burglarized as the Chiefs played their Monday night football game against the New Orleans Saints. That was on October 7th. Other NBA and NFL athletes are also reporting recent break-ins. Now the FBI reportedly stepping in. They're saying that a criminal operation involving transnational South American theft groups are behind this disturbing trend. It stretches from the country, from California to North Carolina. It's going on everywhere. Officials say these syndicates are using cutting-edge devices like drones and signal jammers. What does it all mean? Joining me now to discuss is the CEO of BlackCloak and former cybersecurity advisor to the Department of Homeland Security, Chris Pierson. Chris, I'm so glad that you're here today. A lot of us have been talking about this. Explain for our viewers at home what a transnational crime ring really is and how these organizations are operating, because it sounds really sophisticated.
Yeah, thank you. These are groups of organized criminal syndicates that in the past would be associated with perhaps money laundering or drugs or other physical types of attacks. What they're actually doing right now, in a lot centered in South American countries, Chile, Ecuador, Colombia, and Peru, they're actually sending organized groups of individuals into the U.S., targeting high-profile, high-value targets, and specifically targeting them, their homes, their possessions, when they are in different locations, as can be verified by social media, by public news reports, by posts, including things like game day on Sundays or Thursday nights, etc. And so what this is really a well-organized group of individuals, of managers, of leaders, that are actually then running these gangs, running the individuals, and then exfiltrating those goods out of the U.S.
Yeah, getting them to the border, sending them over, and committing these crimes. The FBI reportedly investigating these burglaries in several states, all possibly being connected back to South America. So how could something like this get carried out from another country? Do they have surveillance? Are they using cameras? Are they sitting in a war room deciding who they're going to hit? You know, it sounds like a movie, but it's happening.
So literally what they're doing is figuring out who might be good, high-value targets. The key things are to make sure the individuals are away from their home or homes. So that's going to be celebrities, rock stars, sports stars, athletes, politicians, folks where you know they're going to be at a certain date, certain time when the homes are vacant. They do not want to be there in the homes. They are actually not carrying weapons. They are trying to do smash and grabs where they enter the homes, target specific pieces of jewelry, cash, other memorabilia, and then get those out of the homes and into other hands to go ahead and sell. Now, these are sophisticated people. They are using surveillance in the U.S., right? So they are actually using surveillance on the homes. In some cases, we've seen within the greater Los Angeles area, them actually using and paying for information from security guards and from alarm companies that may be in the area as to who is coming and going. But they are using things like Wi-Fi jammers, signal jammers, cell phone jammers, so that alarms aren't being tripped, camera footage is not being captured. So very, very sophisticated, both physical intelligence and open source intelligence being used.
Well, how long has this been going on? I mean, obviously, we've had a lot of home burglaries we've reported on over the decades. But the way that this is sped up and the sophistication, how long has this kind of stuff been going on?
This specific intense targeting has been going on for about the past 3 years, really focused a lot in Los Angeles, but also we've had other occurrences in other states that you mentioned and other arrests, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, New Jersey, Arizona, in some places where there have been arrests made. So this has become a much bigger issue, which is why the FBI is now involved, because now it involves interstate commerce, crimes across the different state lines.
You know what it reminds me of, Chris, is the bling ring. I don't know if you remember that case down in L.A. where these young adults were targeting people like Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan, because they would see their schedules and they say, oh, they're putting out on social media that they're going to be at the club, and they would go hit their homes. Far less damage done, but still, it's the same kind of thing. You know, the average person would go ahead.
I was going to say it absolutely is the same theme. but think about it on steroids.
Right.
These are really, really sophisticated. Everyone in the crime ring has a job. Everyone that's raiding the home has a job. And the amount of electronic surveillance, right, once again, with the Wi-Fi jammers and all that's being deployed is at an all-time high. In addition, we have not seen, right, the likes of open source intelligence. This is grabbing in information, not just from social media, from news reports of when someone's going to be for the Grammys or the Emmys. We're talking about actually going to data broker websites, grabbing in the name, address, phone number of these individuals, their addresses, their homes, and knowing the full pattern of life on these individuals well ahead of the attack so that they can carry these attacks off and be imminently successful.
Yeah, it's something that I think all of us need to pay attention to, even if you're not wealthy and have all of the hardware that these guys are after. You know, it's important to take a look at your security system, trim the hedges back. I heard that in one of the NFL letters to their staff saying, you know, be careful about how your grounds are kept, all of it. So it's something that we really need to pay attention to. CEO of BlackCloak, Chris Pierson, we want to thank you for your time. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking to former FBI Tracy Walder, who's a frequent guest, and get her perspective from what the FBI is doing. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And convicted killer